Say hello. Hello. Say hello. Benji, say hello. Woof, 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 woof. Okay, I think you deserve a treat. I think you deserve a treat. All right. Hi, everyone. Good morning. Oh, it's really nice to log in and there's already people waiting. It's so lovely. I really like that part of the YouTube thing. So I never could achieve that on Facebook. I don't know why. I think there's a way to do it, but I don't know exactly why or how. So, good morning. Hello. How are you? Hi, Christine. Sunflower. Is that your real name? Because it's beautiful. Hi, Shirley. Good morning. Good morning, Melissa. Good morning, Susan, Shelley, Barbara, Ardeen. Hi, Renee. Yes, it's another beautiful morning in New England here, November 9th already. And it's a great day to be alive, isn't it? Hello, Rocky. Aw, I love the name, Rocky. Hi, Dawn. Good morning. So today we're going to talk about something really interesting, something I've never, ever given a whole lot of thought to until I happened to get some at the Dollar Tree, and that is cork. So cork is a very interesting material. I'm going to talk to you all about it. I'm going to show you how to cut it on your Cricut, and also how to use HTV on it or iron on. This is something I made. It's just a card. I didn't do an insert. I just wanted to put it on a card. So I used this. Oh, your nickname is Rochelle. My great wait a second. My grandfather's name was Rocco. And my dad, in honor of him, named his dog Rocky. So anyway, so this cork business is really interesting. I did a little digging, and I'm going to show you a little bit about it I'm going to tell you a little bit about it because there's a great history of cork around. But before I start, I wanted to tell you, first of all, that we still have the Easy Press, the Mug Press giveaway going on. And I have been posting the link everywhere. So please, please, please get your name in. You can do it every day and up to 2 times a day if you share on Facebook or on YouTube. Or comment, share, comment, all that wonderful stuff that really helps me in the algorithms, from what I'm told. So, and not just liking, but saying hi, in a comment is really, I guess, preferred. So there's that. Also, yesterday was my 9-year anniversary. I think I might have mentioned it, but it was my 9-year anniversary of working with a Cricut. Now, back 9 years ago, which would have been 2012, they didn't yet have the Explore. It was a non-Bluetooth model of the Explore. I think it came out in 2014, maybe. And so what I got was something called a legacy machine. I had an Expression 2, and I remember very distinctly buying this machine and how much it changed my life. So because of that, I want to give away, after this giveaway is over with the mug press, I want to give away an Explore Air 2 to one follower. This is an over and above my regular monthly giveaways, and it's sponsored by me because I just love these machines. And I am going to send you, if you win, a brand new Explore Air 2. And so somebody can win. So yay, we're going to have another giveaway in November to honor my first happy anniversary. Yay. So we're going to do that, and I will set up the raffle copter. I'll probably do it starting next week and run it through December 1st or something, so that people can really get 2006. Wow, our Dean. Yeah. Oh, really, Dawn? So, oh, yeah. So, so I just wanted to tell you that that's going to happen. First of all, thank you for all of the accolades. I just love these machines. As you know, I do not work for Cricut. I am a Cricut product expert, and that means basically I get some sneak peeks on all of the new stuff coming out, and also, you know, I get to talk about it and get all the information on the machines. But I'm not an employee, so just so you know, and I am self-supporting, so don't forget about supporting me on either Patreon. You can support me on Facebook. There's Facebook fans. You can support me just by placing an order using my link and code. The one thing that, because we have some brand new product experts in our group, and one of them was asking about the code Cricut Chat 10, and that is my code, and I only change it, or I only have to change it twice a year. So every 2 quarters or every 6 months, I change my code. Right now, it's Cricut Chat 10. But the important thing to remember is that my code is unique to you as a listener, to me, and it works with the link. So if you share the code, it doesn't really help me, but I appreciate that. But if you share the code, you have to also share the link. It's just how they do it. It's kind of a little backward, but right now the codes are still giving 20% off of materials. So if you are a premium member of Access and you want to take advantage of the current sale, which is pretty good. Yesterday I went in and I ordered a bunch of iron-on because I've been using a lot of iron-on. I ordered a bunch of iron-on, not the Smart. I just got the regular stuff because I've been cutting small pieces for things like this project, today's project, and I got, I don't know how many rolls of iron-on, and then I put in my name. I got 20% off of materials because I'm an Access Premium member. And then I put in my code Cricut Chat 10 and I got an additional 20% off and free shipping. So what started out as nearly $100, it was like $93, I got for less than $50. So that was sale prices. So I got all of that discount for almost 50% off. So if you do not have enough mats or blades, or you need to fill in some gaps on things that you want to do for Christmas, now's the time to do it. Okay, now's the time to do it. Okay, the other thing I wanted to mention is that I love you guys. I keep getting all of these lovely things in the mail, happy mail. And I wanted to show you what I got this morning. What I opened up made me laugh out loud. It was from my friend Deborah, who lives in Wakefield, about 10 or 15 minutes from here. And she heard me lament about Google Eyes, and look what I got this morning in my mailbox. Google Eyes galore, even colored Google Eyes in all different sizes and shapes. And so now my Google Eye collection is complete. And thank you so much. 600 eyes, or I suppose it's 300 pairs eyes. Yeah. Um, So there's like 125 pieces in each. And isn't that funny? So I got all these Google Eyes. So look forward to seeing more Google Eyes on our projects. Thank you so much, Deborah. She's so thoughtful. And then I wanted to show you this lovely card because this year I wanted to do something for Dia de los Muertos, which is the Day of the Dead, and I didn't get around to it. So I was really happy to see from my friend Linda Gioia, Gioia, Linda. She sent me this print and cut card, and it said, "Today we honor those who have passed on before us." And she sent me a note saying she sent me a card in honor of my dad, and that love never dies. And I just love it. So thoughtful, and thank you so much for that. And there are other things, like Eileen sent me some extras of what she has. I have to find the box because it's not around here. My studio is so jam-packed. I have to have a day where I go through and organize, because as much as I try to stay organized, then things come in the mail and then I get like distracted. And this morning I was actually looking for the cork that I got from Die Cuts with a View from Joann's. So those are my announcements and my thank yous. I hope we can get started right now. I just wanted to say hello. How's everybody doing? Glad to see you. Let's talk about cork. So cork is really an interesting item. Like, I don't know. I'm kind of the kind of person, like, I like to think about these things that we use in everyday, and I love thinking about how we use them. I'm looking for my notes. I actually took notes on this. So cork has been used for over 5,000 years. And it's made from stripping a layer of behind the bark of a certain kind of tree. It's been used most famously for stoppers in wine and champagne. But the first wine application was used by a Benedictine monk named Dom Perignon. So, when someone says, go get a bottle of Dom Perignon, then that is, his name was that was the name of a Benedictine monk in the 17th century that used cork instead of, they used to just take rags and stuff them in the bottles, and they were soaked in oil and stuff them in the bottles. So now they ever since, well, even before the 17th century, they were using stoppers, but most notably, they've been using cork for thousands of years in Greece, in China, Egypt, Babylon, all kinds of things. And it's a very interesting idea about cork, where it comes from. It's obviously very, what's the word I'm looking for? Sustainable, which is a very, very, it's a very now word to be using. It's sustainable, or it's renewable. So what they do is they have these special trees that create this cork, which is kind of like the flesh underneath a bark. If you think of it like bark is like the skin of a tree, and then cork is like the bottom layer, or like the fleshy part. And so every 9 years they strip off the bark with the cork from these trees. And these trees, once they reach 25 years old, they can be harvested every 9 years, and they live for 300 years. It doesn't kill the the tree, which I think is awesome. And in addition to, you know, the usual cork boards and stoppers for like things like wine and champagne and bubbly. People have been using cork to improve musical instruments if you are a musician. And so, you know, you have, like, for instance, if you've ever played the clarinet, you know, you use like kind of a cork shaped reed, and they're also used in making those. It's a good insulator in inside your home. There's actually cork tiles that can be used for flooring or even as sort of as a wall covering. There are medical applications that they've been using. They also are used in sports, say badminton, and also illegally in baseball. If you cork your bat, it's no longer allowed. I don't know what it would do. Maybe it would make your ball fly better. Anyway, so the cool thing about cork is that it floats, and it's a hydrophobic, so it's almost impermeable to water, which is kind of cool. How does that really affect us? Doesn't really, but I thought you'd want to know. And of course, you know, they're used in bulletin boards as well. So I happened upon this cork sheet when I went to the Dollar Tree. It's an adhesive cork sheet. It's $1, and it is adhesive on the back. It's quite thick, and I thought, ooh, cool. Can make cards with that. I also happened, when AC Moore was going out of business, I happened to basically buy out their entire remainders of paper, and this was part of the paper. And yeah, Dollar Tree, and it's a very thick cork, and it is adhesive back, and it's $1. So this came also from AC Moore. It is not adhesive back, but it's really thick. It's obviously in paper. It's in like plastic. I don't know why they do that, but this is by American Crafts. I do not know if they still make it, but it is more like a paper type, almost like a sheet, and it has the thickness of craft board. Okay. And then I also, on a whim, purchased this, which is from Die Cuts with a View. It's a premium stack of cork, natural cork, 14 sheets. But I probably wouldn't recommend this, and I'll tell you why. It is very thin. I'm holding it like sort of so it stands up. It's very thin, and when I went to apply the HTV to it, it sort of ripped, which was kind of a bummer. All right. So we're going to talk about cutting this, and then we're going to put in not infusible ink. We're going to put some HTV on it. Now, here's the thing that I was really surprised about. There used to be a setting for cork, and some people might still have it if they haven't updated, but I could not find, and I looked really, really hard, but I could not find the cork setting. And I found out that it really does depend on the cork that you want to use, and maybe that's why. So like the kind that's adhesive from Dollar Tree is much thicker than the kind that I got from that Die Cuts with the View. But in my research, people have been getting around the fact that there's no setting by using what's called the Rotary Blade. I'm going to try that because yesterday I actually tried the knife blade. It didn't work. I tried the D-point blade. It worked okay, but I had to do it several times. And also, what else did I try? The regular blade. I tried hand cutting it. I tried cutting it with my personal trimmer. I found the best way to cut this really is hand cutting it with a really good ruler and a very sharp true control knife. But I want to show you how to cut it also on the maker. So let's start off with this project. So this project is basically I found these lovely sayings that I just really, really liked. My mom's favorite is "Give thanks to the Lord, for He is good. His love, there's a whole thing. So so I want to make her a like a framed piece like that. It's hard to see because it's got the thing, but I just wanted to show you what I did. I think I'm going to put it in a frame or that is like white or something like that because I don't like the way the wood looks with the cork. I don't know. It just doesn't look right to me. So I might have to paint it. But that is actually cork in a frame. Now these frames came from Michael's. I bought them when they had a sale last year. I think they were like 3 or 4 of them in a pack, and they were like 50% off. So I think I probably got like 2 sets. Yeah. And I just have them hanging around. So I'm sure they still sell them. This is the 8x8 version. It's called a shadow box frame because it has space between there. But you could use a regular frame too. But so I did do that. I also cut it in a normal card size. This is the paper from AC Moore. It has like a silver fleck to it. I didn't add that. It has like a silvery fleck. So I cut this. I actually cut this, tried it on the machine, and then ended up cutting it by hand, and then added the HTV. So let me tell you, I am going to give you this file, so you do not have to worry about looking for these, and also just sizing them correctly. I have here these 7 different sayings, and one of them I made, I'm going to ungroup it. One of them I made, well, actually 3 different sizes. So this here is all I did was take a square and sized it to my frame. So my frame is an 8x8. So I just made a square. I did shapes and I did a square, and then I resized it to 8 inches square, right? And then for good measure, I also changed the color because I wanted to see kind of what it was going to look like. When I first tried this, I did use gold HTV, and it really just disappeared right on the cork. It was not the right color. I think brown would look good, or even like cream. Black obviously stands out, but if you want a softer look, try something like a linen color or brown in HTV. But I just grabbed this black. So let me just put this, I'm going to arrange it to the back. So when I found these different sayings, I thought, wow, those are really nice. And some of them could be cards, like this one here that says Autumn Blessings. And here, what I did here was I just made it a size, and let me just send it backward. I made it a size that I wanted for a card, which is 5 by 7. And then when I got that, I resized it so that it would fit. So what I did was I actually cut all of these out, all of these sayings out first in the HTV. And then I peeled them, I weeded them. And then I started thinking about the cork, because the cork was what gave me the most trouble here. But these are just really beautiful sayings. I want to show you where I got them. Did you know, I was thinking about this yesterday. Do you know that a lot of times if you go right up here to the name, Thankful Cards and Framed Art is what I named this. So if you click on the name, it will tell you the images and fonts that I used in this project. So I didn't use any fonts, but it tells me the images. So these are all the images I used. And if you want to see where I got this image from, you can basically do a backward search for it. So let's see this one, Thanksgiving, a time to give thanks for what God has done. So you see that number, and we talked about this yesterday, that there are image numbers. There's an image number assigned to every image that is on Design Space. I don't know if there's image numbers on uploaded images. I suppose maybe there are. I don't know. But for anything in Access, it will have an image number. And if you hover over it, you can see that it's clickable. So if you click on it, it turns green. If you click on it, it's going to take you to that image, just that image, okay? And you do have one more step from there, and that is if you want to see the whole image set where it came from, it's going to show you that, but you have to wait until the image arrives on the image search engine, which I don't know if this is my computer or if it's Design Space, but it's slow, so slow. Okay, come on. So as soon as I say, well, never mind, it's going to show up. So anyway, each one of these images have a numbering system. And then when you search for that particular number, let's try it again. Nope. Anyway, this is my thing. So when you go up to here, thankful, you can see, you go up to the name of the image, and then you will see all the images that are selected for this project. And I just don't know if this is my computer or if it's Design Space, but this is annoying. This is what takes up most of my time all day, is waiting for the images to load. And I think it must be my computer, because nobody else seems to complain about that. But anyway, you can look at the image set. This comes from a really great image set. I wish I could show you, but I can't. And it's right now it's happening. So here it is. Woohoo! They finally showed up. It does that with searching by numbers. Okay. So once you find the image, if you want to see the image set, you can go to these 3 numbers at the top, and then you'll see a clickable link, View Image Set. So it goes to View. All computers are pretty possessed. This is the image set that it came from, and there are almost 50 images that you can choose from. Most of them are black and white, but some of them are color, and you can just sort of just click on that and add it to your canvas and resize it to fit your needs. So this one says thankful, grateful, blessed. I think that would make a really cool like 8x8 in a frame. So let me unlock it so that I can find a good size for it. Now, for size wise, what I like to do for these things, because if you're going to put it in a frame, you sort of need a border around it. So I know you might think, well, I'll make it 8x8, but it's better if you go at least a 1/2 inch, I think, all around, and try to be symmetrical about it. So if you want, you can either like do this, or you can just change it so that it's like, say, 7. So for 1/2 inch, it can be 7x7. Let's try that. Now, it will distort your saying a little bit, but usually it's not terrible, the distortion. So this is 7x7. That gives me a 1/2 inch all around here, okay? And the same thing is true for the card, like here, the card thing that I'm going to do. This is 6x4. So that's an inch, but it works out to be 1/2 inch all around, okay? And I'm going to just move all this stuff. And so we're only dealing with these two things. So we have a square that's going to be 8x8, and then we have a rectangle that's 5x7, and then we have these two. So we're going to hit make it. Now remember, we're going to be using HTV or iron-on, and the only way that you can use iron-on and not I don't want to say the only way. I suppose you could do it wrong, but you have to mirror it. So you have to mirror it. So when you mirror it, you have to make sure you can't read it. That's my little sort of rule of thumb. Now you can, if you want to fit it in, let's say you have like just a little piece of this here, HCV, you can turn it. Of course you can turn it to use up that entire piece of HTV. And also if you have if you have the Maker 3 or the Explore Air 2, you can use smart material for this and move it around. So, and then here is our cork, and unfortunately, this 8x8 really just kind of eats up the whole space. But I'm going to, I can't use the stuff from, I could technically use the stuff from Dollar Tree for the card, but I can't really use it for the other thing. What's it called? The frame. Sorry, brain blip. So I can possibly use, let's see if we can get that piece. I can use this because it's 8.5x11. So this is okay. But the one from Dollar Tree is like 7 by like maybe 12. So see, there's a difference here. So we're going to use these two. I guess we can also try cutting the die cuts with a view stuff, but I will say I am not recommending this product. First of all, it is just so thin, like it's floppy thin, and so it caused a lot of problems with adhering. But look, it's so super floppy, plus it rips very easily. It's like, it's natural, sure, but it just rips crazy. So let's go ahead and hit continue. I'm not going to cut out the sayings. I already have those cut out, but I am going to show you how to apply them. I'm just mostly going to talk about this cork. So according to some other people on the internet, the cork can be cut out using a canvas setting and the Rotary Blade. So we're going to try that. I tried, as I mentioned, a number of different kinds of settings, and didn't have super great luck, but so I ended up sort of like trimming it all back with my my True Control knife. You might end up going to that. But what I would suggest is if you are going to use the Rotary Blade, that you use a really good sticky mat and that you tape it down. Tape down your cork. I'm going to move you down here so you can see. So I have here just a really sticky mat. I have 2 of them and I need 3, but this is the one that I think that I like the best. It's obviously paper-backed. I just don't know where you can get it, but what I would suggest is that you do tape these down because there is a possibility with the Rotary Blade that it will move. So here are our 3 samples. 1, 2, and there it is. This is the one I don't really care for. So here are and see how it's all ripped on the bottom here? Okay, so here we go. So I would take masking tape because even though it's stuck here, there is that potential with the Rotary Blade that it will lift. And I don't want it to lift because its Rotary Blade is pretty powerful. Now, if you have an Explore Air 2 and you want to do this, what I would suggest is you cut with the deep point blade and cut with a deep point blade. And what else did I do? I cut it multiple times on the thickest cork. I use the deep point blade. I use the setting heavy or like craft board or heavy cardstock. And then I cut it and then I hit that button again and cut it, I think twice, possibly 3 times. So this might be the reason why you might decide, hey, I think I'm going to cut this by hand. And cutting by hand is pretty easy. But see, look, I just ripped it. Look at that. Just from putting this tape on, I ripped it. I do not like this kind. All right, so there is the die cuts with a view. This one, much thicker. This one is from Dollar Tree. It has the adhesive backing, so it's much thicker. We may have to cut it twice with the Rotary Blade or put it on more. But I definitely want to just get it really stuck well with my masking tape. And this is just plain old masking tape that I got on Amazon. It's great for doing thicker things like wood and veneers, that sort of thing. And what it does is it's great. It's low tack, so it doesn't cause any problems with adhesives on your material. It comes off pretty easily, but it does keep that stuff on your mat so it can be cut out well. Okay, so there you go. I've added the masking tape to all 3 pieces. Now I'm going to go to my toolbox and find my Rotary Blade, which is this one. It's pretty sharp. Don't touch it like I just did. And I am going to go back up here. Yes, painter's tape works well. So I'm going to go back up here, and on this cut, which is the 8x8, I'm going to go to Browse All Material, and I'm going to go to Fabrics, and I'm going to choose Canvas, okay? And it automatically will switch to the Rotary Blade. Again, if you have an Explore Air 2, I would suggest that you cut it on something like heavy cardstock and do it multiple times using the deep point blade. Okay, so here we go. I am going to go over here to my machine. This is just the maker, regular maker, not the 3. I do have the 3, but I wanted to show you on the regular maker because most people don't have the 3. So I'm putting in the Rotary Blade. Now you notice the reason why you cannot use these things, which are like, these are called the adjustable tool system, is because they have this like cog type method, and you don't have this on the Explorer Air 2 or any of the Explorers or even the Joy. So these are specific to the Maker machines, and they do work on both Maker and Maker 3. So they go in here, you hold it, and then you close the clamp. Okay, and now I already set the canvas, so I am going to just simply put this in. Let's start off with the this one, okay? We'll start off and we'll do smaller because it's not going to cut the 8x8. So we're going to start off with canvas setting with the Rotary Blade, and this is the Dollar Tree that's very thick and has an adhesive back. So let's see how that one comes out. Yes, that's a great idea, Sherry. So Sherry's suggesting if I stabilize the die cuts with a view with like transfer tape or contact paper, that might work better. So I guess if I wouldn't suggest that you guys run out and buy the die cuts with a view, the DCWV. So before I take this out, I want to kind of give it a little squeeze to see if it cut all the way through. And you see how it did cut, but it didn't like lift from the mat. So I am going to actually touch on, see the C, this is blinking, just ignore it, and the C is lit up. I'm going to press it again. And it's going to cut it a second time. This works for all of the machines with buttons, okay? So you just have to press that button and it will cut again for you. And it works like this if you don't take the mat out of your machine. Now you could take the mat out of your machine, but it's going to possibly be the wrong alignment, okay? So there's, that. So this looks like it has actually cut all the way through. So let's go ahead and take it off. Now remember, yeah, it did. Woohoo! So this was canvas on the Dollar Tree, cork. Look how nice it came off, and it even went through the adhesive backing. And so that's good. I'm happy about that. And then we just take off the rest. I could probably cut 2 from this piece of Dollar Tree. All right, but I'm not going to today because we're running out of time. Okay, so the next up is the 8x8 size, and I'm going to use the same setting. This is the one that has the paper, okay? So we're going to put it in there. It still has the Rotary Blade. It's still set for canvas. So let's go ahead and cut that 8x8 sheet and see 8x8 size and see what happens with that. So again, I did it on canvas twice to cut the Dollar Tree with the adhesive backing. Now, I don't know why it's doing this. I know why it's doing this. It's trying to cut out the wrong, the wrong one. All right, let's change it. So sorry. Let's do it this way. So Rotary Blade, canvas, go. I had the wrong mat selected on my machine, and I didn't want to cut out the HTV because it would just take up time. So this is the 8x8 size. Let's have a look and see if that cut through. Kind of didn't. I can't even see the cut mark. So I'm going to hit the button again and have it cut and see. Now this one was technically thinner than the cork that I used from Dollar Tree, but and it doesn't have an adhesive back, but it does feel a lot thicker, like a craft board. So that could be it, and maybe it might take 3 cuts. There I see it sort of cutting through here, but still I think I might have to cut this a 3rd time for it to really go through. So let's go ahead and hit that again. It used to be you only had to press that button once, but I guess they changed that. Now you have to press it twice. I like barely see it. I mean, I see it here. What's wrong, Ben? I think that you could, if you use the deep cut blade, if you have a deep cut blade and you change the setting and you do it multiple cuts, I honestly think the secret is into the multiple cuts. Now let's have a look. It looks like it kind of made it, but no, you see, it's not even cut in the back. Let's do it one more time just for, you know, just for old time's sake kind of thing, and see if that works. If not, we will then take it and use the cutout lines as a guide, and we'll just cut it out on our own. So this is the paper that I got. How's my mom doing? My mom is actually doing really well. She has a friend, and she, her name is Angie, and she's awful sweet, older lady, and she treats my mom like she's a little kid. My mom can tend to be a little childlike. Anyway, so, okay, so even after cutting this, how many times did we do? 3 times. It did not cut all the way through. However, you'll notice that it did cut some places. So rather than keep on doing it, I'm going to hand cut that one. And we are going to cut the final one, which is die cut with a view, or DCWV. And we're going to do it the same thing, canvas with the Rotary Blade. This, I think, will cut most likely in the first pass. I'm going to turn on my Easy Press Mini so you can see how this does with the HTV. Did it cut all the way through? It looks like it did on the first pass. So let's go ahead and take it out. So this obviously cuts better, but it is quite thin. So you do need to be careful when you're taking it off and putting it on anything. So let's try not to rip it. I did also have a little trouble. Ripped a little bit. All right, so we'll attend to that in a second. Okay, so let's have a look at what we got. Move you down here. Okay, so we did 3 different kinds of cork. We did this, which was the die cuts with a view. That's obviously the thinnest one. Does not have a backing. You can add a backing. This is the backed cork. It's the thickest one we have from Dollar Tree, and it's backed with adhesive. So we did this, and we cut them all on the same machine, the same setting, and the same tool, which was the Rotary Blade. The setting is canvas. Although we did need to do this twice. Next up was this one, which did not cut very well on the machine at all, although I happen to like this much better. So what I'm going to do is remove the masking tape, and let's just be careful with that. I'm removing the masking tape here, and I am going to I tried the trimmer. I didn't like what happened, but I can show you the trimmer just so you can see. So I did a personal trimmer, and I'm cutting exactly where that was. That cut okay on this type. If it doesn't work for you, use your True Control knife. Let's see if we can find, here we go. This is where I want the cut to happen. And I could even just take my True Control knife and just go over there as well, okay? So those are our 3. Now we're going to take our iron-on. So here we need this iron-on piece. And where are all my cutouts for iron-on? This is what happens to me. I need and I don't know what I need. I don't know what I need. Where do they all go? Come on. Seriously? Hold on. Technical difficulties. These, not what I'm looking for. Did the dogs take off with them? I don't know. Ay. How did I do this? Seriously, this is annoying. I found them. Oh, phew, I found them. Okay. I need something. I don't know what I need. Okay, so here is this HTV in gold. But then I decided that I wanted to do it in black. And there are 2 different sizes here. So let's just have a look at this one that I've already done. So this one says, give thanks to the Lord. I already weeded it. I just noticed that I forgot to weed out the little E here. So, give thanks. Although this S looks weird, but it doesn't appear that it's cut wrong. It's just the S. Okay. So here it is. I'm going to use my mini. There we go. I'm going to use my mini Easy Press. Like this. And there is you don't need anything extra on here. Because this serves as sort of the heating element. The mini Easy Press needs to be on medium, and it needs to do, let's see, what is it, 25 seconds. You like that? All right. That wasn't intentional, but that's what it looks. Now, what I found is it has to be 25 seconds on the entire piece. So I start off just by doing the entire piece like this. And then I just sort of, there's no timer on the mini. So then I just sort of start pressing it all around like this and hopefully get the 25 seconds. But you have to wait for it to cool to peel it with the cork, because it causes problems, especially with that thinner cork, which is what this is. So what I'm going to do is put this one aside, and let's do this cork piece, which I had no problems cutting out. So this one says Autumn Blessings, and you see that nice edge around. And this is that thick one with the silver pieces. So I'm doing it here. Now, one thing I did notice is that it does warp a little bit from the heat. And what you need to do for that is wherever you're going to adhere it. So, for instance, if you're going to put it in the frame or you're going to put it on a card back, you need to really use a very good adhesive. You can't just stick it in the frame. Normally I don't put any adhesive on framed things, but you really do need to, or else it will kind of like either look crinkly or wrinkly, or it might even like sort of flop out of the frame, if you know what I mean. Okay, so there's that one. Let's get our Dollar Tree. This is the Dollar Tree one. Let's use this Dollar Tree one. And do I have another? Thought I had 3 here, but I guess I don't. This one here. So I need to weed this. This is black Cricut iron-on that I had. Remember, you mirror it and you cut with the shiny side down, and then you're going to weed it like this. This is much better on this kind of very elaborate design. It's much better to do the iron-on than vinyl. Vinyl has a tendency to sort of lift in little places where it's cut very thinly, and so that causes problems for most people. I mean, some people get it and they can do it just fine, but it can be a little troublesome. So this is how we weed it, and be very careful about the weeding process. I should have picked something easier. No. Let me see if this one's easier. We're doing on time. Okay. All right. So this one says, Thanksgiving, a time to give thanks for what God has done. And there's one of 7 sayings, so if you're not into the biblical references or the God references, that's okay. You can choose something else. My mom is into, my grandmother was a huge Bible scholar. I don't want to say scholar. I mean, she's not like she went to the ministry or anything, but she could recite. Well, I think folks from that generation could, because books were so scarce, and so they learned to recite things. Reciting, that's how they learned. Nowadays, they don't even, want you to recite, because they figure you'll always be able to to get a copy of the Bible somewhere online or whatever, but I don't necessarily agree. Come on. All right. Well, today is trash day, but I don't hear the trash guys coming. So, I was working yesterday on projects for the rest of the week. Pretty excited about tomorrow. It's just a little box program, but I have a cute technique I want to show you about how I did the numbers, which was really kind of fun. So the numbering was actually sort of like the tutorial, I suppose. I mean, the box is just a basic box, and it's from Design Space, and then I added to it, I added like panels to it. Oh. What's kind of interesting is now that Mom has Lola, Benji has, oops, did I just remove the I? I did. I think I did. Thanksgiving. He's changed. He's now barking a little bit more, whereas Teddy Bear was always the barker, you know. It was like he was afraid of her. Anyway, so this is not looking so hot. Let's do this one. Back to this one. And when he saw her on Sunday night, because I thought I was going to have them all three groomed at the same time, he was like, he was fine. She was like, hey, you're at my house, get out of here, you don't belong here, you know, kind of thing. And so so there, you know, there was a little bit of tension there, but I think they'll figure it out. I think when they all come here, like for Thanksgiving, then they should be okay. I don't know. Maybe that's wishful thinking, but I was thinking, you know. All right. Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His love endures forever. I think that's the saying. So yeah, Mom has a friend. Her name is Angie. She's from Vermont. Although, no, she's not from Vermont. She's from Concord. And she actually is a sociologist who worked at the University of Massachusetts, no, Boston University for years until she retired. She has children. And then she was divorced and met this fella who was never, like, he was kind of like, never had, very shy, she said, very, very shy. And he was from Vermont, so they retired to Vermont and spent, I don't know, 25 years there together, and he passed away. So she was living there alone. And she said, I was doing a good job, you know, but she then had a gallbladder attack, and she had to go to the hospital, and they finally decided, hey, you know, maybe it's not a great idea for you to live on your own in the middle of Vermont. And so her son, one of her sons who lives on Cape Ann, which is just north of here. So you guys have heard of Cape Cod. Well, the other Cape in which never gets any attention, Cape Cod, just sticking out there so everybody knows Cape Cod, which we call the Cape. But there is Cape Ann, which is on the North Shore, which is where I am at. And so anyway, he's from Cape Ann, so he found this little retirement village, and she's been there ever since. And she had a dog, so she's very partial to dogs. She, apparently, when she lived in Vermont, they had like oodles of dogs, like a ton of them. And this, so she had a dog, but she recently lost him. And her name is Anzie. I didn't get to find out about her, the origin of her name. It's a very interesting name, Anzie. All right, this is going to come off because it's too small, and my mother knows. All right, I'm now ready. I'm now ready to put this on. All right. So there we go. Now ready. So we're going to put it on here and line it up and make sure I'm not rushing and have little pieces here. Definitely check your work before you apply heat. All right. Didn't get this inside of the G, looped part of the G. Okay. There we go. Y'all still with me? This is the beauty of live. You know, if you were, for instance, looking at a tutorial of somebody that posted this on YouTube or Facebook, they have the ability to edit, and I would have the ability to edit after the fact. But when you're doing it live, you can't take out all the, you know, time-consuming stuff or the problems that you have. Okay, so there's my heat press on medium. And this is the Dollar Tree with the adhesive backed. I'm just gonna, yep. My mother is having cart envy. They all like, it's kind of funny. I think I mentioned that yesterday. So they all have these walkers, but they're the modern day ones. They look good. They don't look like the walkers of the old time. And they have handles and handlebars and handbrakes and a little pouch and everything. Okay, here's the one that we did from AC Moore that's now cooled. So let's have a look at that. Definitely wait till it cools. And I do see that this is right here is a little lifting. And over here. So what I can do is hit those two little areas. Let's see if this one came off okay. So this is the thin, very thin. And it's lifting a little bit right there. So I think I will just kind of press it just right there because you don't want it to peel. All right, and then I'm going to use this plastic for that leaf. Might as well hit over here too. Okay. All right, so let's give that a second to cool off. All right, so here are, these are 2 of the 3. I'll show you the third one. So this is the die cuts with the view. Yes, you could put something like transfer tape on the back or clear. You could do clear. Clear adhesive vinyl if you wanted to, and that would give it some heft. But as you can see, like from here, the cutout is jagged. And so it might not be your first choice, but if you happen to have the stuff, then why not, right? This, again, if you happen to find this, was the paper from American Crafts. And it's got kind of like a silver, but it's really definitely paper. It's almost like a veneer, a cork veneer. And you see here how it's kind of a little bit wavy from the heat. So what I would suggest is when you go to put it on the back of a card, right, is you use, instead of glue, use your double stick tape and get it all around and then in the middle and then press really, really well, and it should take that waviness out of it. So where did my example go, which had the same problem? This one. So this one was a little bit wavy, but it's very natural looking. So I glued it to a card back, and it seemed like that helped with the waviness. Now for the framed piece, I also used that cork, and again, this is I'm sure they still have these at Michael's. They are called shadow or presentation frames. And this one I did not need to put a backing on because it's nice and thick. But if I were going to, say, use this one here, you see how it's very wavy. I would just put all of that in there, you know, put the adhesive in there. So that is our lesson for today. Sorry, I'm kind of all over the place, but I wanted you to see, if you happen to have purchased cork like I did accidentally, and you want to, oh, I forgot to show you the third one. So this one is the Dollar Tree one. So if you happen to, that came out, I think, the best, and then you'd be able to just sort of peel it off and stick it to your cardstock. So anyway, I hope that you sort of learned something, enjoyed is maybe is a strong enough word, too strong of a word, but I hope that you learned something about cork and about cutting with a rotary blade, and then also how you can use HTV on a on cork, because this is an excellent technique for these very intricate, like, look how intricate this is. Now imagine doing this or like weeding this on regular vinyl. No, thank you. And actually this one here, I noticed has like all these little cutouts here. No, thank you. So thanks so much for coming today. Tomorrow, as we've talked about, tomorrow is we're doing an ornament box. This is just the prototype. I cut vinyl out in white. I do not like it, so I'm going to cut it out in something else. And we're going to make 24 of them, including the ornament hanging thing. And it's my effort to get my son to help me decorate our Christmas tree. So I wish me luck with that one, but we're going to do that tomorrow. So I hope you enjoy your day, get some crafting in. If you need anything, let me know. And I will be here. Have a great day, everyone. Take care. You're welcome.